Hello everybody, this is AK. I'm back. Firstly, thank you very much for the overwhelmingly positive response to my last video. And like I said, AK responds well to positive reinforcement. So I'm back. Right? And if you would like to see more videos produced by AK and AK voicing his own videos, please like this video as well. Okay, let's start on today's video topic proper. Today's topic is investing for income. Surprise! Yeah, well, if you have been following my blog for a long time, this is not something new to you. I blog about investing for income all the time, and I also share my journey and why investing of income has helped and how it has helped. It is really to inspire people to think about working towards financial freedom and how investing for income could help, right? It is not that I want people to follow me. I never like that phrase, follow me, not because it reminds me of the shampoo, but because I really don't want people to just follow me, right? Everyone is different. We should consider our own situation, and we can listen to ideas, right? And then we have to think whether it suits our situation, right? And how we might have to modify and adapt, so have it adapt to our situation, right? Don't blindly follow, don't copy wholesale. Okay, so first question, how do we invest for income? We could invest in many different types of assets which generate an income for us. We could buy bonds and T-bills. These are fixed income instruments. We could buy bonds and T-bills and hold them to maturity, which makes them quite safe, and we get the coupons, right? We could also put money in fixed deposits, and that generates interest income for us. We could also buy real estate properties and collect rental income, and we could also, like what we talk about most of the time in my blog, I talk to myself in my blog, and that is to invest in businesses, and this generate income for us and in the form of dividends, right? They pay us a dividend. All right, so these are some ways we can invest for income. So that's the how. All right, there are probably many other ways, but do check whether they're legitimate. Always ask the question, how are they generating an income? Is it legitimate? Is it sustainable? How am I being paid? Right, because we know there are many people who get sucked into Ponzi schemes, and we don't want that to happen to us, right? Now, second question, why do we invest for income? During the podcast I did with the fifth person, Adam asked me, is it because investing for income suits me better? And I told him I think it is suitable for many people, because most people cannot handle volatility, price volatility. So prices go up and down, and their emotions also go up and down, right? So when we invest for income, we are less concerned with prices. We are more concerned with income, right? So when money comes in regularly, we are paid regularly. That's very comforting, right? And I always say that peace of mind is priceless, right? Peace of mind is priceless, and the older I get, the more priceless peace of mind is to me. I really value it, right? And I say we have to eat crusty bread with ink slowly to have peace of mind as an investor. The letter I in ink stands for income. Invest for passive income, right? So that's a reason why investing for passive income is probably suitable for many of us, right? As we don't have to go through emotional roller coasters, on emotional roller coasters, right? Then, although we know this, right, many of us still cannot help but feel emotionally affected when we see prices go up and down, right? So how do we get around this problem? Let me share with you an example. For example, if we are investing in a business that's, say, not listed on the stock exchange, then we cannot see prices of its shares of the shares going up and down because it's not listed on the stock exchange. What would we focus on? Right, so that's point number 3. Have the right focus as an investor for income. We will focus on whether the business is actually making money. We want to invest in businesses which are making money, because if they make money, then they have the ability to pay us. Right, whether they are willing to pay us or not is another question we have to consider. Right, so if we can't see the prices because they're not there, then we would focus on whether the business is profitable, which is what we as investors for income should be focused on, right? Then we also have to ask questions about risk, legitimacy, and the question of risk is very important, because if the company is a risky company, then its ability to generate income could be in jeopardy, and that would affect its ability to pay us. And if it's not able to pay us, no matter how willing it is, it probably won't be able to pay us, right? So as investors for income, risk is a question where we have to bear in mind. Is it risky? And often we have to look at is leverage level. How much debt does it have, right? So if it is highly indebted, then during bad times, we could see income reducing, and we might see it halting dividend payout, and this could go on for some time, right? And we want to avoid that situation. So in the extreme case, some extreme cases, for example, would be some REITs that we see now, like Manulife US REIT has decided that they want to suspend dividends, right? Which is very rare for a REIT, because usually they want to pay out 90% of their distributable income, at least 90%. That means that Manulife is really in deep trouble. The REIT is in big trouble. And then, of course, you have Prime US REIT and you have Elite Commercial Trust. Their leverage levels are also very high, and which basically means that their balance sheets are very weak, right? And I don't have an interest in any of these REITs. I've avoided them, and one of the big reasons is because of a weak balance sheet, overly leveraged, right? And when bad times hit us, and like in the last 1 year, interest rates went up a lot, and the valuations of their properties took a hit, gearing level exceeds what's acceptable, and they find themselves in trouble, right? Of course, when I talk about all these REITs, I have to be fair, and I have to talk about IREIT Global as well, which I'm invested in. Why am I invested in IREIT Global and not the other REITs I mentioned? Is because it has a strong balance sheet, and it has a very conservative management, right? Even after the proposed acquisition of the out-of-town retail parks, which are leased to B&M, I think the gearing level would still be around only 34%. This is because the management has always been very prudent when it comes to money, and whenever they want to buy some properties, they would come to shareholders and ask if they would like to participate, right? So basically, I'm not against REITs issuing rights per se, right? If they issue rights, raise money from shareholders in order to invest in more income generating assets, usually I'm quite positive about such rights issue. And the nice thing about these sort of things is that small shareholders like me will be invited as well as, and we get to participate. And it helps to keep the gearing level at a moderate level and not excessive. right? And when a REIT is always using debt to fund its acquisitions, its gearing level goes so high that, you know, what we have seen with Manulife, US REIT, Prime REIT, and Elite Commercial Trust, there is a lesson there for people who use too much debt, right? So what to focus on? That's a question. And if you're interested to know more about IREIT Global, I'll leave a link in the description below, right? And the next thing, last thing I want to talk about is when to buy and sell. All of us know that we want to buy something when it's cheap, right? It's the same thing with stocks, right? When Mr. Market goes into depression, we want to buy because chances are he will throw out many good deals, and that will be a good chance to buy. And if we buy undervalued, chances are we will have a better result, right? So I always give the example of AIM's APAC REIT, which I bought a lot of during the global financial crisis. And if we have bought something good, and over time has proven itself, it pays us consistently, and it doesn't give us a heart attack, it doesn't give us headaches along the way, like AIM's APAC REIT in my case. For many years now, that investment is free of cost to me. I've recovered all my capital, and the money has been paying me over the last few years is free money, right? So if we are lucky enough to get to invest money in a good income generating asset, just hold on to it for dear life. You don't really have to do too much so as to get more out of it, you know. But of course, if the price plunges for some reason and that investment remains a good investment for income, you could think of adding, right? But is it just buying and holding, you never sell? No, that's not the case. In some instances we have to sell, and in some instances we might be forced to sell. I mean, forced to sell, like in my case was Sizen REIT, Creases Retail Trust, Accordia Golf Trust. All these were taken off my hands, even though I didn't want to sell them, right? They were privatized, made some money. But there will also be times when we should sell, and I follow people who have been following my blog for a long time will know that there have been many cases in the past when I sold some of my investments, right? In a more recent case would be what I shared during the podcast with the 5th person, and that was SETS. I have been an investor in SETS for many years because I really like the stable business and the dividends that SETS paid. Unfortunately, during the pandemic, together with many other businesses, they had to stop paying dividends, right? And the pandemic taught me many things, and that's some businesses don't do well, right, in certain situations, right? And but I was looking for it to resume dividends after pandemic, but of course they went on to buy WFS and had to borrow a lot of money and raise funds from shareholders as well in order to make that happen. And I decided to get out of it, right? So as investors for income, we might consider selling an investment if that investment no longer generates an income for us, or for some reason is unable to pay us or unwilling to pay us. And I also talk about Centurion Corporation, but I just mentioned it during the podcast. I didn't explain why. Centurion Corporation also stopped paying a dividend during the pandemic, and I was expecting them to reward shareholders more generously after the pandemic, but that didn't happen, even though they emerged from the pandemic with a much stronger balance sheet. Of course, now there are some research houses that say, oh, buy Centurion, we're upgrading it because it's doing much better now. I don't usually do what research houses tell me to do, or what they suggest that we should do. An example, for example, Hock Lian Sing, which is one of my investment, back when it was 50 plus cents, a research house said that it's worth 67 or 69 cents per share. I didn't buy. In fact, I sold. I sold half of my investment at 50 plus cents, which was already double of my entry, entry price. And basically, when I sold half, the balance of my investment in Hock Lian Sing became free of charge, and I'm still collecting dividends till today. If I had bought at 50 plus cents and added to my investment, I would be in a sorry state today, because the price didn't go up to 67 or 69 cents, right? And it's back down now. If you take a look at how much Hock Lian Sing is trading at today. But like I say, I'm not really bothered by the price today, because it's still paying me, and that is what matters to me. But I sold when the price doubled, and that's another consideration. We might want to take some money off the table. It's never wrong to take some profit. So as for Centurion, coming to Centurion, even though it's doing better now, there's no guarantee that it won't stop paying a dividend when another crisis hits. And I really don't want that to happen to my portfolio again. I rather invest in businesses that will pay me through good and bad times. And of course, the banks are a good example of businesses that can pay us through good and bad times. And I'm happy that I've made that reallocation of resources, selling a big chunk of my investment in Centurion Corporation and moving the money, investing the money in DBS, OCBC, and UOB when I did. Okay. So we can look at reports by research houses. For sure, I do that all the time, because as individual retail investors, we don't have all the information that we possibly want to see, and these research houses are able to provide that service. But don't just take everything they say as the gospel truth, and that everything they say is relevant to us. We have to pick out what is relevant to us and make our decisions based on our own thought processes. And I will leave a link to two of my recent blogs, one on ComfortDelgro and one on Wilmar International, to show you how I pick vital pieces of information to help me to make a decision. Okay, sorry, that's my phone. Yes, so research houses. And finally, as investors for income, we want to invest in businesses which are also shareholder friendly, right? And I think Centurion failed in that aspect. They're not as shareholder friendly as I think they could be. And in fact, in my blog that I've just published earlier today, I talk about ComfortDelgro and why I think they are shareholder friendly, and how they chose to reward shareholders even during bad times, right? And I think that's about it for this video. I really want to keep this video a bit shorter because I think the last few videos were a bit too long, and this video it's quite obvious that I'm also talking a little bit faster because viewers have given me the feedback that I'm a bit too slow, and they had to speed up the video, right? So I hope this helps. Until the next video, take care of yourself. Remember, if AK can do it, so can you. Please like this video. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.